The modern corporate landscape has seen a dramatic shift in the role of CEOs, with many high-profile executives seemingly dedicating less and less time to the companies they lead. The perception that a company's top leader should be present, engaged, and actively managing day-to-day operations is being challenged by a new reality in which CEOs act more as figureheads or brand ambassadors rather than traditional business leaders. The conversation about absentee CEOs intensified with discussions surrounding Elon Musk, who simultaneously runs Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, The Boring Company, and Twitter. The question arose, how could any individual effectively manage so many companies at once? But the truth is, Musk is far from the only CEO who appears to be spreading his attention thin. One of the most glaring examples is Brian Niccol, the newly appointed CEO of Starbucks, who was lured to the company with an eye-watering sign-on bonus that could be worth up to $113 million in his first year. A significant portion of that compensation package was to offset stock options he forfeited by leaving his previous position as CEO of Chipotle. However, the sheer size of the bonus raised eyebrows, particularly considering that Niccol would not even be relocating to the same state as Starbucks corporate headquarters. Instead, he would work remotely from his home in Newport Beach, California, commuting to Seattle when necessary via a private jet provided by the company. What made this decision even more controversial was Starbucks' return-to-office mandate for its regular employees, highlighting a stark double standard between executives and rank-and-file workers. Starbucks is not alone in embracing the concept of remote leadership for its highest-paid executives. Jack Dorsey, the former CEO of Twitter, reportedly spent little time at the company's offices, instead focusing on his other business venture, Block, formerly Square. In another recent development, the newly appointed CEO of Victoria's Secret was allowed to work remotely rather than relocating to the company's headquarters in Columbus, Ohio. Meanwhile, Victoria's Secret, like many other companies, has enforced strict return-to-office policies for its non-executive employees. This growing trend raises a fundamental question. Why are top executives permitted to work remotely and even hold multiple high-level positions, while regular employees are expected to commit fully to a single job and be physically present? The answer lies in three key factors that explain why modern CEOs are able to operate under vastly different rules than their employees. The first reason is that many CEOs today function more as symbolic leaders rather than hands-on managers. For investors and boards of directors, the appointment of a well-known and strategically valuable CEO can be more about optics and market confidence than direct operational oversight. The case of Brian Niccol at Starbucks illustrates this perfectly. While his compensation package may appear excessive, the market reaction to his appointment tells a different story. Following the announcement of Niccol's hiring, Starbucks' market value surged by over $20 billion. This means that from an investor's perspective, the cost of his compensation was easily justified by the boost in company valuation. Investors and boards recognize that no single executive can single-handedly transform a company. Instead, they view high-profile CEOs as symbols of a company's direction and commitment to addressing key challenges. Niccol, for instance, has built a reputation as an aggressive opponent of unionization efforts and a skilled brand strategist. His appointment signaled to investors that Starbucks was taking steps to combat labor activism and revitalize its image. Similarly, Elon Musk's influence as a visionary entrepreneur has contributed significantly to Tesla's brand value. Whether or not he is directly involved in daily operations, his presence alone reassures investors of Tesla's long-term potential. The second factor driving the rise of absentee CEOs is the growing influence of corporate branding and the cult of personality surrounding business leaders. In an era where social media and influencer culture play a major role in shaping public perception, executives have become more than just decision makers. They are marketing tools in their own right. Modern CEOs of consumer-facing companies are often just as recognizable as the brands they represent. Figures like Apple's Tim Cook, Meta's Mark Zuckerberg, and Tesla's Elon Musk have reached near celebrity status, allowing their mere presence to shape public opinion and drive investor confidence. In many cases, this shift means that a CEO's most valuable contribution is their ability to maintain and enhance their public image. Take Mark Zuckerberg, for example. Over the years, Zuckerberg has worked to soften his previously robotic persona, appearing more relatable and engaging in ways that humanize his leadership. Whether this transformation is driven by genuine personal growth or a calculated branding strategy, the result is the same. His image as a more personable and visionary leader strengthens Meta's market position. This emphasis on CEO branding has led to a scenario where many executives no longer need to be physically present in their corporate offices to be effective. Their influence is exerted through media appearances, social media interactions, and strategic public engagements rather than traditional management practices. However, this arrangement has created a significant disconnect between executives and their employees. A study conducted by the International Workplace Group found that 93% of surveyed CEOs no longer work full-time from the office, instead operating under hybrid or fully remote arrangements. In contrast, lower-level employees, particularly those earning under $38,000 per year, are overwhelmingly required to be in the office full-time. This disparity has led to frustration among workers who are being asked to return to the office or risk losing their jobs while watching their CEOs operate freely from anywhere in the world. This brings us to the third reason absentee CEOs have become more common. Companies simply don't prioritize their in-office presence. In many organizations, boards of directors ultimately hold the power to evaluate and retain CEOs. If a company is performing well financially, most boards are unlikely to scrutinize a CEO's day-to-day engagement. Additionally, many corporate boards are composed of individuals with close ties to the CEO, further reducing accountability. Unless a CEO makes a catastrophic mistake or oversees a major financial downturn, they are often free to delegate responsibilities and focus on external endeavors. The growing trend of remote and absentee leadership has raised concerns about the long-term impact on corporate culture, employee morale, and business efficiency. While some argue that this shift allows companies to attract top executive talent without forcing relocation, others worry that it sets a dangerous precedent. If CEOs can successfully manage companies without being physically present, it calls into question why lower-level employees must adhere to strict office policies. Another concern is the potential risk of brand damage when a CEO's personal actions overshadow their company's mission. Many companies that tie their brands too closely to individual leaders risk instability if that leader's reputation is compromised. Musk's management of Twitter, for example, has drawn criticism that has spilled over into perceptions of Tesla. Similarly, companies that allow CEOs to take on multiple leadership roles run the risk of divided attention and strategic misalignment. There is also the question of whether the traditional role of a CEO is becoming obsolete. In an era where companies are scaling faster than ever, the skill set required to build a startup is vastly different from the expertise needed to manage a large corporation. Many founders struggle to transition from visionary entrepreneurs to effective corporate executives. To address this, some companies have begun appointing operational executives to handle daily management while retaining founders in more symbolic leadership roles. If you're enjoying this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends and family. It really helps us out. As the corporate world continues to evolve, the definition of effective leadership is changing. The trend of CEOs who rarely show up to work reflects broader shifts in workplace expectations, executive branding, and investor priorities. Whether this trend will continue or face a backlash remains to be seen, but one thing is clear. Today's CEOs operate under a completely different set of rules than their employees, and that divide is only growing wider.